I have been trying to shoot a big coronation trout for years. One of the most challenging species to hunt here in my local waters of South East Queensland. Last year was the closest I had ever come. I finally put my spear in a really big fish, but disaster struck.
Bugger! Oh.
Years of failure made this moment pretty special to me. This day was absolutely wild and a great way to start 2025. The forecast for the day was rain and plenty of it, which is fantastic for us Spearos because that keeps most of the line fishermen at home. We jumped in the water, had 30 meters visibility, no other boats around. It felt like we're in for a pretty good day. For my first dive of the day, I drop down and land on top of the ledge. As I look over the top of the ledge, I can see some really nice large eye sea bream, also known as moo. Here in South East Queensland, we get some very large moo, as well as coronation trout. But there's a reason they are so big. These fish are very clever and difficult to hunt. There was no joy on this dive, but it was definitely worth another look. I got back down to the top of the ledge, a little bit further down current, and as I looked up, I could see some very large moo. Multiple green jobfish were swimming in, and in normal circumstances, I would have taken the shot, but I had my heart set on one of those big moo. I was using all my tricks too. I was giving the rock a little scratch. I was looking down to avoid eye contact. Finally, one of the bigger moo turns and starts to swim in. But I just did not have the breath hold. We drifted off the ledge and started to do some dives on a bit of the flatter country. This is where we bump into our first shark of the day. When I saw this bull shark swimming in, I noticed a cobia swimming just underneath it, so I had to swim closer to get a better look. Unfortunately, this cobia was only a small fish. But towards the end of the day, I find some bigger cobia on a much bigger shark. Before we get to that, some really cool fish got shot in between now and then. We're still diving that flatter country. This was just after I saw that bull shark and cobia. On my way to the bottom, I saw some very nice sized moo. So I found a patch of sand to go and land on and threw up as much sand as I could to try and lure these fish in. I was keeping my eyes down nice and low not to spook these fish while I was throwing the sand up, but I also think that my camera was leaning down a little bit far too. So I apologise for that, guys. These are really one of those fish that test your breath hold. They move in so slow. Well, I stuffed that shot up. I'm not 100% sure what happened, but I think my spear fell short. So those fish were further away than I thought and actually quite a bit bigger.
Big moo. Still too far away. Yeah.
Well, after that terrible shot on the moo, we moved to some deeper ground. During the first drift of the day, Adam had shot maybe a 10 kilo black spot, a really good fish. But unfortunately, the spear snapped right at the end of the shaft. So I gave Adam my spare 7.5mm Rob Allen shaft, and this is when Adam went into slay mode. Adam's first of many fish for the day was a beautiful coronation trout. Now, I'm not a perfect man, and I'll admit I was a little bit jealous. My track record with coronation trout isn't great, up until a little bit later today.
Yeah, alright.
Woo, way to christen the Rob Allen.
Didn't stop it.
On a Coronation.
The next fish that found itself in Adam's sights was this gold spot cod. These gold spot cod are not winning any beauty competitions, but they are still absolutely delicious.
Don't judge me now. Nah, just the one. He's a nice size here. It's usually what I look for. Perfect.
Just after Adam threw his cod in the boat, he took a dive right at the end of the drift in some pretty deep water, I might say. And he landed on top of this big school of mangrove jacks. He absolutely nailed that shot on the jack. This fish was a pretty good fish. It went 65 centimeters, a really nice local jack. Just on the bottom, there was a shark milling around, checking out the fish, but at this point, the sharks were still pretty well behaved, unlike a bit later this afternoon. That's Matty being a good dive buddy, getting down there, checking the shot, and keeping the sharks away.
There's like 100 of them down there.
Were there bigger ones?
Oh, he was the biggest one I've seen. There's a rip up.
I must have just missed them.
Yeah.
That was a good
They
bomb.
come swimming straight in at me too.
That was a good bombing, eh?
This spear is amazing. The way it sets the barb and everything, it's just unreal.
We ended up moving spots after Adam threw his jack in the boat. Now, the visibility wasn't quite as good here, but it's still one of my favourite spots to dive. Almost every time I come here, I see good coronation trout. This is the exact spot where I lost that really big coro in the previous episode. I hadn't seen a coronation trout yet, but I was picking up a few other good reef species. Got a nice gold spot wrasse and a pretty good sized grassy sweetlip. But on the next drift, this happened. This was a very large tiger shark. Now, when it swam up underneath this, it seemed pretty chilled out, so I thought it would be safe enough to go and shoot one of those cobia off it. I am no shark expert though, so I don't know. Maybe that was a dumb thing to do. What do you guys reckon?
That was a tiger. That's a tiger.
Oh, a big one too.
It's a big tiger.
Yeah.
After I threw my cobia in the boat, we went back up current, and now this is where I get my chance at that coronation trout. On my way to the bottom, as I'm checking out my surroundings, I see a very nice sized coronation trout. Spotted the fish, I'm already in range, so I extend my gun pretty quickly and let it have it. The shot looked really good, but the fish got me straight into the reef, and with so many sharks around today, I knew if I left it on the bottom, it was probably going to be gone. Now, it took a lot of failure to get to this point, so I was really happy. Oh, I'm really happy with this fish.
Big shark.
So, as I'm cheering and carrying on the surface, Adam's like, there's a big shark on the surface just over there. So I got in the boat pretty quick. It was more than likely that tiger that we thought had swum off, but yeah, it was still around.
They take some work.
Yeah, it got me in the reef.
Seen some pretty wild stuff. Big tiger shark. I managed to shoot a cobia off the back of that tiger, but also got that really nice crow. Cobia, nice big grassy. So starting to get a feed together, so happy days. We moved spots again, mainly to get away from that tiger shark, but also to find a little bit better visibility. At this point in the day, my ear was pretty blocked up and I was having a lot of trouble equalising. So for the rest of the day, you're going to see Adam go into sleigh mode and shoot some pretty cool fish. Just off in the distance there, it's a bit dirty, but there's some very nice large eye sea bream, or moo. Shooting the fish is one thing, now he's got to land it. The sharks at this point were a bit fired up. You'll notice as the shark's going for the fish, he'll jolt his hand and that'll get it just out of reach enough to deter the shark. Doesn't work all the time, mind you, but in this case it does work. Dan's on his way down now to try and keep the sharks away, and I'm driving the boat around in circles, trying to make a lot of noise with the motor to also try and keep the sharks away. I saw it once in a Tim McDonald video, so it must work.
Two big bullies on him too, eh?
Maybe. Oh, that's a good one, bro.
Ew. That barb's so good at the way it's set, so.
Yeah.
So now gonna close up.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's a cracker.
Great fish.
Cheers, brother. Nice work, bro.
That moo is an incredible fish for this area. Such a challenging fish to get. So, very well done, Adam. The next fish in Adam's sights was a big spangled emperor.
That's a fucking ripper. Woo!
I bet that fish was turned into some absolutely delicious curry. Big shout out to my cousin Gabe who put together these logos and the banner page for my YouTube channel. He's a very talented graphic designer and videographer, so if you want to get any work done by him, just hit him up on Instagram. I'll leave a link in the description so you can find him. And guys, I just wanted to thank you for watching the videos and appreciate all the kind comments I get from you guys. It means the world, so thank you.